Today we talk about 4 men, 3 of which went up a mountain, 2 of which came down the mountain, and 1 of which just simply showed himself. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 2-Minute Torah, day 5 of Chukat. We end this Torah portion today by going to the end of chapter 20, Bamidbar, or Numbers, and we began with verse number 23. Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aaron in Mount Hor near the border of the land of Edom, saying, Aaron is to be gathered to his people, for he is not to enter the land which I have given to the children of Israel, because you rebelled against my mouth at the waters of Meribah. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and bring them up to Mount Hor, and strip Aaron of his garments, and put them on Eleazar his son, for Aaron is to be gathered to his people and die there. Moshe did as Yahweh commanded, and they went up to Mount Hor before the eyes of all the congregation. Moshe stripped Aaron of his garments, put them on Eleazar his son, and Aaron died there on top of the mountain. Moshe and Eleazar came down from the mountain. When all the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, all the house of Israel wept for Aaron 30 days. Verse 1 of chapter 21 says, And the sovereign of Arad, the Canaanite, who dwelt in the land of the south, heard that Israel was coming on the way to Atharim, and he fought against Israel and took some of them captive. 4 different men being described here. And so there is this transition of roles of administration, roles of leadership, in a very dramatic form that takes place. Aaron has been with Moshe now for an extended period of time, at least the last 40 years. And this beloved brother of Moshe has been a good and solid leader, standing between Israel and a plague, leading them in their worship, offering before them the sacrifices that they bring, going into the Kadeshim, the Holy of Holies, every Yom Kippur, and interceding in behalf of the Israel. And he has been a good, solid leader. Mistakes, yes. He's had his low points. We all have. But this tender moment where Moshe, Eleazar, and Aaron are standing up on top of Mount Hor, and the presence of Yah is there. Can you imagine the tears in Moshe's eyes as he begins to take the priestly garments off of his brother and place them on Eleazar, his nephew? And perhaps the last thing is he lifts the mitre, the headdress with the golden plate, off of Aaron's head and puts it over onto Eleazar. The moment then that Aaron, he dies. They watch him die, perhaps, most likely, probably. The rabbis give an instance here where they say that Aaron died by the kiss of Yah. That is, the presence of Yah kissed him, and his soul leapt from his body to return to its creator. His being gathered to his peoples, waiting for the advent of the Messiah. What a powerful scene this must have been. Eleazar comes down the mountain, and he is now the Kohen Hagadol. He is the high priest. And the people are going to trust him to do the job, but they're also mourning for Aaron for 30 days. And they should. What we see here then is the necessity of the transference of leadership and places of office. Eleazar was not going to put his spin on this office. He was not going to administrate his way, because Yah has already established the firm protocols as to how that this office is to be handled and conducted. And he is going to go step for step as his father has before him. but he's not his father. When we think about next generation leadership, those of us that have been in some leadership form now for decades, Laura and I have done about 40 years worth of ministry. And, we preached the sermons and prayed for the people and done the pastoral work of visitations and ministries and administrations and all the stuff. We have the experience. What we need are those that are coming up after us that would be capable of stepping into those roles. And you look for the young man, the young woman that can, and we don't like to use this word because of the negative connotations and legal issues that it uses, but grooming, preparing is a better way, teaching, training, equipping someone to step in. But where are those leaders? Where are those younger people? We're warned, don't hand the office off to a novice. There needs to be someone, a decade or two younger that can step into the role and be ready in a time of maturity and a capability to be handed off certain things. Good leadership training is show someone how to do it with them, and then let them do it. And it's a process that does take time. This is not a week or two handoff here. It's an extended period of time. Show them how to do it. Intentionally teaching and training. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And now partner with me. And here, you do this part, I'll do that part. And it's co-equal workings is measured out. Then it's handing over and say, now you do it. And I will evaluate and advise and encourage and support from behind. We don't trust easily to hand off leadership, but it's necessary. If the return of Messiah tarries longer than what we anticipate, or are we going to have leaders that just fade off into the horizon without anyone being raised up, and then it's just who's next, who's willing, without training, without equipping, without administrative understanding? And if that's the case, then we could be in for a lot of problems. We've had to learn from our mistakes. It's time that we prevent someone else from learning, from having to do the same thing. But then we have this fourth character, the sovereign of Arad. Arad, and it's not it means to hear, or he hears, as we back up here, Arad hears, and maybe he's hearing that there's been a change in administration. Maybe there's a time of weakness here that I need to exploit. His name, if I can get this correct now, and please don't be offended, but it means wild ass. He's a wild donkey, if you will. He is one of three that are referenced as such. Ishmael is also referenced in such terms. But if you read in the book of Hosea, chapter 8, verses 7 through 9, you will find that Ephraim is referenced as such as well. And so we understand that Ishmael, found now among the Arabic peoples considered now Muslim, Islamic, they are indeed as a wild variety of people bent on violence and anger. Is Ephraim any different in some respects? Ephraim is just sniffing at the wind, looking for another thing to catch its fancy. We cannot allow the exploitation of a transfer of leadership to allow such individuals to rise up and take an advantage in a negative fashion from us. Shabbat Shalom. May the presence of our King be with you, in you, upon you. May the light of Yeshua fill your heart, your mind, your spirit with greater understanding of himself. May you indeed be filled with shalom. So until next week, Shabbat Shalom.